What's up, guys? How's it going? Richard here with Alien Bros, back with some more strangeness to share with you guys. First though, I'd like to say I finally had the free time to upload as often as I used to, so you guys can expect a lot more content from this channel now. So for those of you that are subscribed to my channel, make sure that you have the bell button tapped, because if you don't, YouTube will not notify you when I upload a new video. YouTube's system is broken and it has been pushing against this channel lately, and I want to make sure YouTube knows that they cannot stop the work we're doing here, and I truly do appreciate all the support that I get from you guys. The fight for disclosure won't be snuffed out. Anyways, as I mentioned, I have a few new UFO sightings for you guys, and afterwards some very good news on a discovery that I'm sure you all will be happy to hear about. First, let's get into the UFO sightings. Our first sighting comes to us from Banbury, Oxfordshire, Great Britain, and was captured on July 7th of 2018. It shows some flat-out incredible footage of a cigar-shaped UFO very similar to a sighting that we shared in a past video on this channel, making me wonder if they could possibly be the same object. The difference is that the one we shared before this was filmed over Dover, New Hampshire, which is quite a ways away from Great Britain where this object was filmed. I'll go ahead and play you guys the clip now, and we'll discuss it further afterwards, alright? Here it is.
I don't think it's going to abduct any cow. It's bizarre, I can't see it in the camera. Oh, there it is. Gotcha. Look at that. Go away, fly. Lego, get rid of that fly for me, mate. You see it?
Yeah, it's black.
It's just staying there in one place. Been there for ages.
I know what it's doing.
Is that UFO potted up for England to win the World Cup?
Yeah, it's Putin, mate. It's the Russians. That's a superb UFO.
How is it tube shaped?
Cigar shaped.
How?
Wow. It might be just a saucer sit on its side.
Yeah, but they don't move around with it. So it wouldn't see.
No, I'm really sorry I can't hold this still, but...
Are you scared it might abduct us?
No. I ain't got time to set up the tripod.
Yeah, so this sighting is pretty incredible to say the least. It is very clear that this object is not something you would typically mistake for a UFO, such as a plane or drone. It remains stationary in the sky for a fairly long amount of time, and the shape of this thing is clearly a cigar, although it could be argued that this is a saucer-shaped UFO being viewed from the side angle, as was mentioned by the person recording the footage, although I highly doubt that this is the case. I think it is also unlikely that this object could be a balloon or something of that nature either. If it were, it would be moving with the wind, and this object stays stationary in the same spot for extended periods of time and is obviously in control of its own movements. The only serious movement is from that of the person holding the camera. There appears to be no tampering to the clip or evidence of CGI either. It is also pretty clear that this object is up at a very high altitude, and from what I can tell, seems to be metallic or at least made of some sort of shiny material, because at several points in the clip, you can see the sun reflecting and glistening off of the object. Before we go on, I'll read you guys the witness's statement, and this is a very credible witness, by the way. The statement reads, "On the evening of Saturday, July 7th, my friend, knowing my massive interest in this subject, sent me a text saying that he and his father currently had eyes on something very strange high above my house. After locating it, which was actually to the south-southeast from where I live, I was amazed at what I was looking at. This object was very big given the altitude and distance it appeared to be, and was cigar-shaped, and with a light that seemed to move along its lateral axis. I got my phone camera on it and watched it for a good 5 minutes, flashing lights and rotating on its own central axis, which had the appearance of it changing its shape. I quickly ascertained that this was no balloon, as it remained pretty much stationary while the clouds were moving to the south. To my absolute disappointment, I discovered that my mobile phone had not been recording. I then ran in and grabbed my proper camera with 48x zoom. After filming for a few minutes, I thought I may have time to get my tripod. At that point, the craft accelerated upwards until it was out of sight, and very unfortunately, not on film. The best bits I never got to record. I'm so sorry about that. At my house there are 4 witnesses, at my friend's there are 2 witnesses, and there are at least 3 other observations from Banbury who have commented on it. The wind was blowing at 10 miles per hour from the north to the south. I've tried to access the historical METARS to ascertain the height of the thin cumulus, which I assume to be at around 7,000 feet, so I can provide an accurate altitude, but this seems mega hard to get a hold of. I am a private pilot licensed through both the CAA and the FAA. I love aviation and I'm very good at recognition from the distance. I love the sky and am very aware of all that can trick you. I know about military UAVs, UCAVs, drones, etc., and I always make an educated and informed decision on what it is that I'm looking at. This is no balloon of any shape or form unless it defies the laws of physics. Please note that this was all happening in the controlled airspace of Daventry CTA, and during that 10 to 15 minute time period, not one airliner came through until the craft had gone. At that point, they resumed as normal. That suggests to me that this was either being tracked or at least it was known that this object was in the airspace. Since this event, I've had the BBC trying to get me on TV for a report into this, which I refused. BBC Radio then tried to get me on for a morning report, which I refused as well. The lady who contacted me seemed unconcerned about the report and more interested in making fun of me. I didn't want to put myself in the position of being ridiculed, which it seemed obvious that was what they were trying to set me up for. That is the end of the witness's statement. From what I can tell, I believe this is an authentic cigar-shaped UFO sighting, and one of the best ones that I have ever seen filmed, and by a rather credible source. Pilots are very much credible sources. I can't say for certain what this object is, but it is definitely strange, and to me it does not look like anything of this Earth created by humans. Could this be an alien craft? I can't say for certain, so I'll leave that up to you guys to decide for yourselves. I will say that I think it is likely a possibility, but I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you have more footage or information regarding this object, then definitely send us over an email. Alright, so our next sighting comes to us from Westbrook, Maine, and was captured on July 19th of 2018. This video was caught with a night vision camera, and it really stuck out to me not only for the strange behavior of the object, but also for the bravery of the viewer in attempting to make contact with it. You guys will see what I mean once I play the clip. I don't recommend doing what this source did, considering that it could have major consequences, so this is in no way me promoting or endorsing these actions performed by the person taking the footage, but the fact that he did what he did certainly makes this footage that much more incredible. I'll go ahead and now play you guys the footage and we'll analyze it afterwards, alright? Here it is.
Wow, look at that. Very bright light coming over my house. I see these things all the time. That is no plane. That is absolutely not a plane. Look at how bright that is. That's the moon, that's the North Star, and that's a UFO. No doubt about it. No sound, nothing. That's one of the brightest ones I've ever seen. Holy shit. The fuck is that? I'm flashing a high beam LED light at it because sometimes I get a response. It gets brighter, it blinks, as you can see. No sound. Wow. That sound you're hearing is a plane behind me, not this light. There's no blinking navigation lights, just a solid yellowish white light. That's a star. That's a UFO moving. Slowly going all the way across the sky. There's going to be a lot of reports of this. Westbrook, Maine, about 2 miles from the Portland Westbrook airport. Plane just cut over, and then this thing comes flying by. And there's another one right there. That's the bright one. That's the not so bright one. 2 of them now. Going northeast along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. There it goes. Disappearing over the trees. That's the best one I got yet.
Yeah, so as I said, this is some awesome footage, and the witness was brave enough to shine a flashlight at the craft, which is definitely not something you typically see with these UFO sightings. As far as what this object is, I'm not totally sure. You could argue that this could be a drone, but I feel that this is likely not a drone. It controls its movements in the sky in a way that you would not typically see with a drone, and the size of it seems too large to be a drone too. What it is though, I'm not sure. Before we go on, I'll read you guys the witness's statement to give you some more context on this sighting. The statement reads, "I was taking pictures of Mars when I noticed a brighter star-like light in the sky. Then I noticed it was moving. I then switched to my night vision app and began recording. This is not my first encounter with these sorts of objects, as I have witnessed similar ones in the past. However, this was the biggest one that I've caught on video, and it wasn't the last that I saw, as I saw 4 or 5 more after that one. There was then a single flash of light, and then nothing. I wish I had caught that on video. I did try, hoping it would happen again when I flashed my flashlight. However, it didn't happen again after that." That is the end of the witness's statement. I will say, I too wish he had managed to capture that flash of light and the disappearance of the object that the witness described here, because that would be incredible. But still, the footage is rather interesting. What could this object be? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think he has a pretty good capture here, and I definitely want to figure out what it is that he filmed in this footage. At the moment, I simply can't give a definite answer on what it could be, although I have some theories. I want to hear your theories though. Alright, so next I have a piece of footage for you guys that comes from Canggu, Indonesia, and it was captured on August 29th of 2017, and it shows a strange blue orb UFO hovering in a cloud in the sky. The witness said that this UFO stayed in the same spot for over 7 hours and eventually disappeared entirely. There are 2 clips of it, and I'll play them back to back for you guys. I'll go ahead and roll you guys the clip now, and we'll get into more on it afterwards, alright? Check out this footage. So there are a few things that stuck out to me with this sighting, the biggest being the fact that this object doesn't move and at some points almost appears to be two separate objects, or at least two blue lights, that seem to be at some points somewhat hidden by the clouds, which gives us a good indication of the altitude that this object was hovering at. With the object hovering stationary at this height for as long as it did, it gives me enough confidence to rule out this thing being a drone as an explanation. What is it though? Clearly, this is nothing typical. You don't usually see bright blue stationary lights in the sky, especially not for 7 hours straight as the witness that took the clips claimed. The witness didn't say much in their statement, but I'll go ahead and read it to you guys anyway. The statement reads, and I quote, "So at first, I thought this was a drone, but the thing hovered/flew for at least 7 hours, from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m., non-stop in the same spot with those blinking blue lights, and in the morning, it was suddenly gone as if it had never been there at all. Anybody know what this could be? I'm not sure, but the distance and a comparison with an airplane that flew on the other side of it made me think that it looks very big." That is the end of the witness's statement. I get a lot of strange sightings sent to me on this channel, and a lot of garbage ones as well. It is sightings like these, with characteristics that make me truly scratch my head, that I love being able to share with you guys. This sighting is another great example of all the strange stuff that goes on all over the world, and it keeps me asking questions. In the case of this sighting, I think this is certainly a genuine UFO. However, if it is extraterrestrial in origin, that I cannot say. Maybe this is a government-owned craft being used or tested for some unknown purpose, or maybe this is actually something alien. I won't make any claims. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide based off the evidence. I'll simply leave off saying that it's definitely a strange piece of UFO footage, and I definitely want to find out more about what this thing the witness filmed was. I want answers. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, I have a small bit of news for you guys that in my opinion is an acknowledgement by NASA of something many of us have speculated on for a while, and it proves we were right. Scientists led by Harvard University's Dr. Li Zhang found that many of the planets identified by NASA's Kepler space telescope and the European Space Agency's Gaia mission may contain as much as 50% water. This is after the announcement that a lake of water was found on Mars, and had NASA's Dr. Vladimir Erpetian state that they may find life on Mars in as little as 3 years, which in my opinion further validated our theories of NASA covering up life on Mars, and they now seem to be slowly removing the veil of lies they tell to the public. We have discussed Mars in many past videos on this channel, and we have presented plenty of evidence that at the very least there is fungal life on Mars, which NASA denied and reportedly was sued over. It seems now that our theories of the planet Mars may not just be theories. If you haven't watched those videos, then I definitely recommend going back and watching them to get yourself up to speed. Anyway, in the case of the Kepler planets, Dr. Zhang's study, which was presented at the Goldschmidt Conference in Boston, concluded that the mass of many exoplanets, which are between 2 and 4 times the size of Earth, can be explained by large amounts of water. If his findings are correct, it significantly increases the chances of life on other planets, given that water has been instrumental to the development of life on our own planet. Since the discovery of the first exoplanet in 1992, scientists have concluded that many of the 4,000 confirmed or candidate exoplanets discovered so far can fall and be divided into 2 categories: those with planetary radiuses averaging about 1.5 that of Earth, and those averaging around 2.5 times the radius of Earth. Dr. Zhang pointed to findings which suggested the proportion of water on many exoplanets appeared to dwarf that of Earth, where it makes up just 0.02% of the mass of the planet. He and his colleagues analyzed exoplanets with mass and radius measurements from the Gaia satellite in order to develop a model for their own internal structure. This indicates that exoplanets, which have a radius of about 1.5 times the size of Earth, which are 5 times the mass of our own, tend to be rocky planets, while those with a radius of 2.5 times the size of Earth and 10 times the mass are likely to be water worlds. The study suggests that about 35% of all known exoplanets bigger than Earth should be water rich. It also further confirms the idea that several places in our solar system alone likely contain water, and possibly even extraterrestrial life in some form or another. Places like Europa and Enceladus are already speculated to contain water, and with these 2 new discoveries regarding Mars and now the possibility of Kepler exoplanets, I believe that it is likely that many places in our own solar system contain water and likely life. As many of you already know, life adapts to any conditions, and scientists have dubbed these sorts of life forms as extremophiles, and that gives me hope enough to be able to say that I think the universe not only has life, but it is teeming with it. The idea that we're being visited by other life forms is becoming more realistic by the minute, and these new discoveries are unveiling things that NASA for years has said were not true. Things that point in the direction of our governments lying to us, and it only helps further the theories that many of us have had regarding our government's involvement with extraterrestrials and UFO technology. Clearly, there's a lot more here than they would like us to know. However, I feel confident in stating that we will soon have our answers as to whether or not we are alone in the universe, and I think our government may very well quit lying to us about it. Of course, I won't get my hopes up since you can never trust the government. There is likely some form of agenda here though. We just have yet to figure out what it is. Hopefully it isn't one that will lead us down a dangerous and destructive path. Let's just cross our fingers and hope for the best while making it known that we will not be lied to, nor will we be controlled. Let's continue our search for answers. We're getting closer to the truth by the day, and it will come soon, I'm sure of it. We just need to keep fighting for it. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today, but stay tuned because there's a lot more coming and we will have it posted very soon. If you like the video, then please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out, share it, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. It really helps us out and it will let you guys stay up to date by sending you a message straight to your inbox every time we upload a video so that you can stay on the up and up with all the latest alternative news. And remember, you have to click the bell or you won't get the notifications. Also, if you want updates on when our videos will be coming out, please go follow our Facebook page. The link is down in the video description. And if you have some UFO footage or evidence that you would like us to feature on the channel, then please email it over to us. Our email is down in the description as well, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you guys want to help keep this channel going strong, then donating even $1 a month to our Patreon would be extremely appreciated because YouTube isn't paying us, so this is all out of pocket for us. However, I have said many times before, we love it, and we won't be quitting anytime soon, and I'll repeat that until the day I die. Thanks again for your support, guys. It means a lot to us, and don't forget to browse the channel if you're new and get yourself up to speed. As always, I'm Richard with Alien Bros, and I'll see you guys again next video.